Dario,
Okay.
thank you for your time. Just talk about more about your expertise and why you are here.
So I'm a strength conditioning coach, but also I work at the University of Zagreb as associate professor. Actually, I'm trying to combine the theory and practice. So from a university job, I do a lot of research on, in general, on human and health performance. Most importantly, of course, is tennis and all around the tennis.
Not only.
Not only, but I used to play tennis competitively as a junior. Then I switched more to academics. But I always wanted to stay in sport, especially my sport of tennis. So that's why I started to work as a strength conditioning coach. And I was lucky enough to start working with, at that time, it was 15 years ago, with young Croatian players named Dona Vekic and Borna Čorić. So they were 12, and I was a young strength conditioning coach. So actually, I grew up with them as a coach. Especially with Donna, I spent almost 10 years. So that was the starting moment. And I realized actually that in our sport of tennis, there's a huge gap between the theory and practice. So from one side, you have a lot of great theoretical experts who don't have that much experience from the court. But then on the same side, you have a lot of great tennis and fitness coaches who are missing maybe a little bit more theory and science. So my role is kind of to bridge this gap.
You have a lot of work. I saw your social media accounts and you travel a lot in countries like Georgia, in Bulgaria. What, why you are spreading your knowledge in these countries?
I think that it's very important, especially from people who are working at university, to not just to share their knowledge at the local universities or local institutions, but also to travel around the world and spread and teach young, especially young coaches. And that's one of the reasons of my arrival here in Bulgaria, thanks to the organizers and the Bulgarian Tennis Federation, to be able to come here and to share my expertise, because I'm the type of the person who doesn't want to just to keep everything for myself. I want to share. That's my, at the end of the day, role at the university. So I see a lot of young coaches here in Bulgaria that probably are missing a bit of experience, especially from the international level. So one of the main goals of my visit here is to share my knowledge, to share my experience, and to spend time with the Bulgarian coaches.
Let's talk about Stan, because as I saw you a few minutes ago, it seems that he is in the best shape of his life. Is it because of your working together?
I mean, I would not say that it's because of me. I'm playing just a small part in his development. I mean, he's obviously a great champion, a great person, first of all. I would say I'm proud to call him a friend of mine. Uh, he's the biggest athlete that I ever worked with, and probably the one that I would work in the future. He's as we all know, the success that he had in a previous year. So for me, it's first of all the privilege to work with him, but also to learn from him, because he has a lot of experience. He knows what it takes to get to the best possible shape. So I would not say it's just the fitness. It's also the nutrition. It's also the recovery. It's also the treatments that he's doing on a daily basis with his physio. So the teamwork, I would say, it's important, and of course the talent that he has.
Do you want to travel to a lot more with professional players? Maybe in next years some different players except Stan, or you're focused to be on university and seminars like this?
Yeah. This is a good question. If you ask my wife, she would say to travel less.
I'm sure about it.
Because tennis requires a lot of travels, as we all know. It's a all year-round schedule and calendar. For the last 3 years, I was with Stan, and as we know, this is his last year. So who knows what the future brings? But honestly, over the last few years, I started to enjoy much more working with the young players. To also to get back to the beginnings, and to share now everything that I've learned over the time, and to bring it back to the good juniors. And I think that's also one of the responsibilities of the coaches, not to just focus on the top level athletes, but also to take care about the young generations.
You have to be very good on a psychological level to work with different type of guys, to work on different type of jobs, I think, because to be a lecturer here is different to be a lecturer in the university.
Integral part of the preparation. I mean, especially in tennis, because it's individual sport comparing to football or basketball, where you have a team in front of you. Here you have one-on-one communication and one-on-one work, and especially at the top level, you travel a lot together. You eat your breakfast, lunch, dinner in between all the practices. So what I want to say is you spend a lot of time with the player. So the psychological, mental part is super important, and you know, you have to be a good psychologist in order to bring your ideas and your training methods to the players, especially to the young ones, so they start to trust you more, and so you can basically execute your you know, goals and your philosophy. So I would say, yeah, it's becoming more and more important, this psychological part.
And to manage your person.
Yeah, it's not easy, especially, you know, the calendar is getting bigger and bigger every year, and especially the top level of the game. This is actually something that I mentioned today during the presentation. Is what I've seen from the young players is that they are just running from one tournament to another, and because the calendar is full of tournaments, but sometimes they forget to train, and you know, the training blocks are very important, also at the top level, at the junior level, at any level. If you just keep running from tournament to tournament without paying attention to your body, to the recovery, to, you know, to the performance, then I'm not sure you can get there. So I think it's a very important lesson for the young players to take care about their development, to take care about their training blocks, and not just to rush and to keep going from one tournament to another, and to keep focusing only on the points and the ranking. I think that's you know, second, third, fourth step, and it's not the first priority, especially at the young age. So it's not about the performance at the young age, it's about development.
Who are you outside of your, for you, that something that people don't know about you? Your maybe some passion?
I mean, obviously the tennis is my greatest passion.
Outside of tennis?
Outside of tennis, I have that's maybe my little problem. I have a lot of interest from different areas. Now I'm planning actually a trip to Namibia in April to explore the gazing stars in the desert.
Wow.
So this is completely outside of my job. I'm preparing with a colleague of mine one interesting paper on the anthropological characteristics of the older people in Namibia. So, for example, this is completely outside of my job, but I like to explore also other things than just tennis.
What is your other sport that you like outside of tennis? Do you have one?
I mean, obviously everybody, in Croatia started with the football, so that was also next to tennis my sport.
What's your team?
It's Hajduk Split. Okay. It's one of the Croatian teams, but my older son, who is only 7, started to do the speed skating.
Wow.
So
in Croatia, speed skating.
Yeah, it's quite atypical. We just watched the Olympics, and there was a lot of speed skating, one of great sports. Never had any connection with speed skating, but amazing sport.
Can you point one similarity between speed skating and tennis? Is there any?
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, it looks like super like easy sport. But it requires a lot of strength, a lot of tactics, a lot of tactics. Yeah, because you have, especially in a short track, you have multiple racers, so you have to find the right moment to execute your accelerations. And I'm talking like an expert of speed skating. I just, but actually, it's a good point, because I think we sometimes, we coaches, we forget to learn from other sports. We are too much in our sports that, you know, and sometimes even from the speed skate, from the biathlon, from, you know. Look at the biathlon. This morning I had a conversation with one of the coaches. You had an Olympic medalist in biathlon.
Well, the biggest surprise in biathlon in the Olympic Games, our girl Voro Hristova won the bronze medal.
Bronze medal, but look at the biathlon. You have the laps. So it's very difficult. It's becoming very aerobic. But then in one moment you have to calm your breath, and you have to shoot at the target. It's happening on the court. You run, you change directions, but at the same time you have to you pull the trigger and make it very coordinated, under the balance, in a right target. So I think we can learn from different sports. So yeah, I think this is one of my goals for this year, actually, is to learn. I picked up a couple of sports that I would like to learn from. And biathlon is one of them, speed skating, and also the bike, the racing. So those are the sports I want to explore a little bit more, to talk to the coaches there, to see which elements and which training methods I can bring to tennis.
You're continuing to learn, which is, I think, step to develop also yourself, but professional skills also.
I think it's very important to be curious and to keep exploring, to keep challenging yourself, to keep putting yourself out of the comfort zone. I think that's very important for every job and also for the coaching job.